Journalism.
Welcome back, and definitely a very interesting show this morning. And we're going to start off with Ncumisa Mkabile, and she definitely has a phenomenal story. And as we know, when COVID-19 took over, it definitely took a lot of people off their bar and definitely put them in a space where they never expected themselves to be. But it's about being resilient and asking yourself, where can you find opportunity in these types of challenges that you face? And she's definitely done that. So we're going to be speaking to her about her phenomenal journey. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much. A warm welcome to the Nafisa Dango Show.
Good morning, Nafisa. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
I think it's an absolute pleasure to have inspirational people like yourselves on the show, showcasing, how you can take those opportunities and those challenges that we face in life and turn them around for the better. And I think you've definitely done that. So talk us through. I mean, I know, you started off a very young agri-preneur, as we're going to call it, and doing really amazing things in the agricultural field. But of course, that was not the starting point of your life. I mean, I know you had a catering company, and
Yeah.
of course, lockdown took a really hard knock for you. But that particular challenge that you faced actually didn't hold you back. It changed your narrative. And I think maybe it was your calling. So let's talk about your calling and what it means for you. In a short space of time, I mean, you've done so much. So pin us through your journey. How did it start? I mean, your catering business obviously did not, should we say, go forward in due to COVID-19 constraints and the situations that we face and the challenges. But you didn't let that stop you. You decided that there was an opportunity in something else.
Um, like Nafisa, before farming, I actually had a catering company, and I had to close down due to the pandemic. So the catering company was my only source of income, and I needed to think of a plan in order for me to generate income again. And when my catering business closed, I had to ask myself the following questions: that, Ncumisa, are you going to sit down and complain? Ncumisa, are you going to sit down and blame the government? Or Ncumisa, are you going to take action? Because that is what I believe that we as entrepreneurs should think and operate. Instead of looking at the problem, you need to find a solution to the problem. So what I decided to do is, after my catering business closed, I decided to sell hot body chickens, which are known as umleqwa. So at that time, I was actually doing door-to-door deliveries. So when I saw that the demand was high, I actually decided to be a supplier myself, where I would supply people who would like to start their own business while also still doing the door-to-door deliveries. So I guess that is where my passion for farming started. Yeah.
A very interesting one. I mean, because you decided to actually get into the space of having your first little land. And
Mhm.
right now, I know you started off by following your journey where you used to actually walk around your land with the watering can. And
Yeah.
today, you're actually walking, you don't need to do that because you have your own sprinkler system. So it goes to show that from where you started to where you are now, in that short space of time, you've taken many big strides through the journey of farming. So talk us through that.
Okay, Nafisa, for me, I believe that as entrepreneurs, we should be able to take risks. So
Mm,
even when you fail, it's not like you have failed, but it's a learning curve. You learn from each and every situation that you encounter in your journey. So even for me, I'm a self-taught farmer. I don't have any agricultural background, no experience, but I gather all my information from the internet. And also for me, I actually took a big risk because firstly, when I started farming, I did not have
mm,
any market. But because I knew that my community and my social media friends would actually support me, because when I first planted, I started with 20,000 seedlings of spinach, and I actually advertised it on social media, and
mhm.
everything was sold out in less than an hour. So that is why I'm saying that as entrepreneurs, we should be able to take risks because you never know, maybe your risk is a blessing in disguise.
That's so true. But I'm going to come in there and say you're a self-made entrepreneur, agripreneur, because
Yeah.
following your journey, I know that you learned all your farming, should we say, skills actually from the internet. Nobody actually
Mm.
taught you, you taught yourself. Talk to us about that journey. I find it very interesting. I mean, because like a lot of people will sit back and say, where do I start? You didn't wait for that, or you didn't actually wait for somebody to come and teach you. You decided, I'm going to take this opportunity, turn it around, whatever information I can absorb from the internet, this is what I'm going to do. And I want to actually take my hat off to you because, I mean, to be able to go out and learn from the internet and then just start up your own thing takes a lot of, should we say, guts and gumption. And it's those kind of ambitious people that actually get out there. And I think you're actually one of those that have really
Yeah.
taken that extra step to say, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to learn as much as
Mm.
I can. And as I go along, this is how I'm going to grow myself.
Yeah, because I always say that even when you start any business, you need to invest in knowledge and you need to read as well, you know. Because for
Mm,
me, I always watch those YouTube videos and I try to learn the best way that I can. And then also, if I see that there are other farmers in my area, I usually go and learn how they also do things, you know. In that way, you get to learn each and every day. And you
mm,
also, I also talk to other farmers from other provinces because there's not a lot of farmers in the Western Cape. So I also get to talk with a lot of farmers in other provinces as well. Just like when I encounter problems in my crops, I also I take pictures and then I show them and I ask them, okay, this is happening. What should I do now? And they would always advise me.
mm.
So I always take that knowledge that I'm getting from other farmers and apply it when I'm in my area as well.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
Interesting, because the thing is, you've not just taken this journey and used it for yourself, but
Yeah,
you're going further in the direction of empowering people through the initiative of giving back to the community. You're now an influencer for UNICEF, and I think that's absolutely
yeah,
amazing. In addition, you're also an active contributor to youth
yeah,
empowerment and employment, which I think is so important because I think in many instances, Ncumisa, many people don't actually realize the essence of empowering others with yourself. So
yeah,
your opportunity has now, because it's grown, it's opened doors for others to actually hop on board with you and grow with you and learn the gift of the garb of having to be able to do agriculture from a
yeah.
perspective where you're self-empowered now.
Yeah. So what happened, Nafisa, when I actually started my farming project, I was able to create job opportunities for the people in my community. And for me, that was a big opportunity, you know, because now people will be able to put food on the table and feed their families. But because a lot of people also lost their jobs due to the pandemic, and a lot of people approached me asking for
Mm,
employment. So what I basically did is I started to offer free agricultural trainings. So what I do after the training is
mm,
I buy seeds and I actually give them the seeds and actually encourage them to start planting at the back of their homes, you know. So I'm also encouraging
mm,
backyard farming. By so doing, they can either plant and they can
mm.
either sell what they plant or they can plant for their own consumption so that they don't have to buy vegetables. So in that way, they will also they also be able to put food on the table for the people in my community.
I so absolutely love the concept and ideology of what you're doing because this is where we look at things like this on the show is long-term empowerment, long-term sustainability. And I think you've just bridged that gap for us here on the show today by discussing this because this is what we were looking at and the ideologies we'd come up with to say, instead of, going out and giving a person food every single day, why not, get a piece of land and give them the actual plants where they can then go into their own, like you said, backyard and they're fully sustained. They
Yeah,
don't have to actually look for food, even if they're unemployed. They're not going hungry for the day. But
yeah,
also turning it into a mini, like you said, business where eventually, I mean, today I'm so proud of you because I know in your area you're actually supplying many a people with
yeah.
your product, including the spa.
Yeah. Yes, and that is like the biggest achievement for me because like I recently started farming and I've never imagined that I'll start supplying huge retailers this way. So
Yeah. Mm, sir, your signal seems to be a little bit bad.
So for me to actually
Okay, there we go.
to actually, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Sorry, we seem to have broken up a little bit there, but I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm saying that it's a huge achievement for me because I never imagined that I would actually supply huge retailers like
Mm.
so soon, because I've recently started. And just to also have a positive impact in my community, and it's just an amazing feeling for me, and I'm just truly grateful as well.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see, within a 2-year period, the type of
Yeah.
turnaround that you've created is unbelievable. It's something to actually look at and ask other young people, to actually join you in this particular journey, to be able to turn around your ideology of self-employment. Because the thing is, what you're doing is going out that extra mile. So even the people in your area are actually sustained in many directions, but they're also empowered. And that's what it's about. It's creating that sync for people. Also, I mean, you are appointed the chairperson of the African Farmers Association of South Africa for the youth. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. What sort of goals do you have for the future? Because, as we know, the youth are our future. I love the ideology that a young person like yourself and a woman, especially, because I mean, in your field, I'm sure in many an
Yeah.
instance, you probably got the question, a lady doing farming? No, I don't think so. But for me, I thought it was a phenomenal thing because you're
Yeah.
filling and bridging a gap where I think it's not about what gender you are, but it's the kind of credibility with the type of work you do that you can bring to the table. And just looking at all your research last night, I was really taken aback to see how innovative you are with what you do and how you entice other people in joining your initiative to be able to grow. And I think it's absolutely amazing.
It actually came as a shock, Nafisa, when I was actually appointed, and I was like, yo, the whole Western Cape, Cape Town on its own is big, and now I have to lead the whole Western Cape. But for me, my,
Yeah.
my goal as I take this role is just to encourage more females into the agricultural sector, as we know that agriculture is a male-dominated industry. So I just want also the
Mm,
females to see that they can also make it and make a living out of agriculture, because I believe that we are the future leaders, and we are fully
mm,
capable as well as females. And then also just to encourage as well backyard farming, and also having school garden projects as well. And then also what I've also noticed, and also in my journey as well, is that we in the Western Cape, we lack information when it comes to agriculture. We also don't know which
mm.
doors to actually knock to in order to get financial assistance as well and funding. So I just want to be that voice of the voiceless. I just want other farmers to know and also connect with relevant stakeholders so that they can
Mm.
also know which doors to knock to when they also need assistance in any way when it comes to agriculture.
And I think it's also about the education that goes with it, like you were saying, is, a lot of people think agriculture is something you just go out, you plant, and it's the end of the story. But there's a lot of things that go with it. And I think it's nice that you're sharing that with the youth. So when they actually go out into the field and try and do it on their own, the education that you shared with them is going to be able to allow them to grow in many directions. And so nice to see a person like yourself in that space at what, 28?
Yeah, 28.
Wow. You really got me going this morning. I was so excited to interview you because I thought to myself, wow, 28 years old and into agriculture, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I've also never thought that I would actually be in this industry. But I
Mm.
just fell in love with it, and I just got the passion, and I thought, why not? I should just go for it as well.
So, what can we expect from you? I mean, because the thing is, in a matter of 2 years, you've really stunned us by achieving so much in such a short period of time, Ncumisa. What what can we expect when we look at you for the future? Because I'm really excited to want to know.
So my dream is to be a commercial farmer where I can produce and supply my vegetables to businesses and companies all over South Africa, while also creating job opportunities for the people. I would also
Mm,
love to have my own farming academy in the township of Kailicha, where I would actually train
Wow.
children from a young age the importance of food security.
Ah, there we go. That's what I'm saying is to all my viewers out there today, this is the lady you need to really definitely, should we say, support in many directions because what I see from you is something long term, something full of essence, something that'll grow. And this is what we're looking for in people looking at long term visions of things, you know? Because, like, you know, as I said, I can go out today and give somebody maybe some food and that's the end of it. But what you've done is taught them how to actually fend for themselves, but also create a mini business out of it. And I think that's what matters is what sort of differences can we as South Africans help each other. And you've definitely created that Ubuntu by going out there during lockdown, telling yourself, you know what, this is not going to stop me from achieving what my life's calling and what my goals are. And I think you've definitely received it because I have this motto, and my motto is that each one of us is born with a purpose. Your purpose, I think, has been fulfilled in your sphere by giving back in many directions, not just for yourself, but to selflessly go out there. And it's just, you know, just the ideology of wanting to have an academy says so much to me because it says that we're going to have many young agripreneurs out there, especially female ones.
Yeah, it is. It is because that's what I want to do, and more especially not necessarily females, but the youth as well. I want them to be active, because for me, I always say that there's lack of job opportunities. So
True.
instead of waiting and blaming the government as to why you're not employed, why not create opportunities for yourself,
Mm.
and then the government will find you along the way. So that is also what I'm trying to encourage and trying to push as well on, like, using my journey just to inspire people, just so that people can also see that it's okay to start small with what you have and just gradually grow.
And inspiration is what you definitely are. But as you would say, you know, going forward, your ideology is amazing. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. An absolute amazing initiative. Keep going, and let's keep enticing the youth into getting into roles like this, where, as you say, we're filling and bridging that gap. And I think agriculture is one of them that we don't really take as seriously, not realizing. I mean, every single day we walk into a store, and I think whatever product we see there, we take it for granted, not realizing what goes behind it. And I think you have taught us to look at it in a very different way. I think if I walk into a store today, I'm definitely going to be thinking about you when I pick up that spinach. Thank you so
Yes.
much for joining me and being an absolutely true inspiration. God bless you. All the best going forward and wishing you all the successes. Take care. A very good
Thank you
one.
so much, Lisa. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, Ncumisa Mkabile, definitely an inspiration in many directions when it comes to agriculture. And I think this is what we need to start look at is long-term sustainability. And that's what she's taught us. Stick with us. We'll be back with you in a minute.